1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope all of you guys had an awesome day today. We got a whole bunch of parts in, as you can see, all the boxes behind me, and as you guys saw in the beginning of this video. I'm going to do, at the end of this video, I'm going to do a unboxing of all the parts that we got. Some of these parts back here are for the race truck. Most of them are. And we also have one part for the 12 valve as well. So we are, at the end of this video, we are going to do an unboxing of all the parts that came in for the race truck. But right now we have to take care of a very important item on the 12 valve. So we are going to go ahead and open that box up so I can show you guys what I got. I am not sponsored by Pure Diesel Power, but I tell you what, guys, they seem to just have everything I will ever need for the 12 valve. So let's get this box open. Ooh. So, as I mentioned in my previous video, the 12 valve had a leaky fuel line. It was actually cracked and it was spraying fuel all over the place. So we got an upgraded big fuel line kit, I believe is what they call it. We got an upgraded kit for that, so we can get that taken care of. Let's go out to the truck so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So as I mentioned in my previous video, this feed line right here, there's a banjo fitting there, and then there's also a banjo fitting on the top of the fuel filter. That line ended up cracking and spraying fuel all over the place. So what this kit is going to do, this kit is actually made by Vulcan Performance, but I got it through Pure Diesel Power. This kit actually eliminates the hard line, but it also eliminates both banjo bolts and gives you an option to go to a 1/2-inch fuel line for the feed. So we ended up going with the 1/2-inch fuel line, push lock, as you can see, and then 2 new fittings to screw into the top of the fuel filter and then into the pump as well. This also has a test port here that we can, if we ever wanted to monitor our fuel pressure, which we will be doing eventually at some point, so that's good to just have with us. But we can go ahead and get that fuel line replaced. So let's get started with that first. We're going to get that old line ripped off, and then we're going to get this new kit in. Alright, so now that we got the old line out, one thing to note is make sure you get the washers. There are 2 washers on each side of the banjo bolt. Sometimes the one on the other side, the one that's on the pump and the one that's on the fuel filter will stick on there. So you got to make sure you remove both of those. But now, this is pretty straightforward. We can go ahead and thread these 2 into the pump and into the top of the fuel filter. And then we will be able to set up our 90s. To screw over top of those, and then we were able to push lock, and basically what that means is you push this onto the ends of those and it locks them and makes a nice tight seal. So let's go ahead and get these threaded into their new spots. As you can see, we got our fitting installed on the top of the fuel filter as well as into the injection pump there. Those torque to no more than 15 foot-pounds is what it says in the directions, or else you could potentially break them off into whatever you're screwing them into. So the other thing too, guys, is you got to make sure that everything is super clean, because this is the side after the fuel filter, so this fuel is going directly into your injection pump. So you want to make sure that everything is clean so you don't have any contamination going into your injection pump. So we're gonna go grab our 90s and a couple wrenches to hold everything, and then we'll be able to put our push lock hose on. All right, guys, so sorry for the darkness. It's getting dark out here. We got our 90s installed, as you can see, and one big flaw that I'm seeing in the instructions is it doesn't really recommend on a good way to route your fuel line I'm thinking, because this lower line here, there's really no room. That's a cable right next to it there. I can't squeeze it to go straight up, because ideally what I would like to do is have it go straight up and then over to the fuel filter here. But there's really no way that can happen. So it's going to have to go behind the fuel shutoff solenoid and then up to get up to this 90 up here, which I think there's going to be enough room there for it. So we're going to hopefully get our line in and see exactly what I think. We're going to lubricate our two fittings there so that the line slips on really easy. This can be kind of a pain to do, so we're going to make sure that everything is lubricated so that it slips on good and easy. Alright, so we got our line routed and then we measured it and cut it. You can see it goes right past the fuel shutoff solenoid. We made sure that we had enough slack so that it did not interrupt any operation of the fuel shutoff solenoid. This is kind of the best way that I found to route it with these 90s. If the 90s were a little bit shorter, like I said, I probably would have been able to sneak it straight up, this one down here, so that we could go straight up to it. But with the 1/2 inch, maybe it's different with the 3/8 line if you chose that option, but with these 1/2 inch 90s, it's just too difficult, and I'm worried that it would mess with our cables over here. So this is the best route that I found to work. We are going to have to prime the fuel system, obviously double check for leaks, and then we're going to fire this thing up. So let's get at it. We're probably going to have to give it a little bit of throttle here to get her going. Let's give it a shot. Oh, started up real nice. So we're going to let that truck run out there for a little bit, let it warm up and double check for fuel leaks, but everything should be good to go on it. Like I said, this is for a fuel pressure test port if you ever wanted to. Eventually we will want to monitor our fuel pressure, but at this point we are probably going to go with a fast fuel system of some sort and eliminate the fuel filter housing and all of that completely. If you do run this, from what I understand, you have to run what's called a snubber, and that basically what that is the mechanical fuel pump on the side of the block is mechanically actuated, obviously, and the plungers that can send erratic, because your fuel pressure drops and then it comes back up, so that can kind of add sporadic fuel pressure readings. So the snubber that would thread into this before you get to your gauge basically eliminates that. So just FYI for you guys that want to run this on your truck. Now let's get to exactly what everybody wants to know. What did we get for parts for the race truck? So let's tear into this stuff and do some unboxing. We're going to start with this box first. Now, like I said, this is all for the race truck. So like I said in my previous video, guys, we are going to be putting the front end of the race truck, front and rear end of the race truck together so that we can pull the cab, and then when we're ready to set the cab back down, we can go ahead and just fire the thing up and drive it if we want to. So we ordered all sorts of fancy stuff. These are going to be the tail lights for the race truck. Oh, man. Obviously a smoked lens. All LEDs. I believe it's the same design. It's got the C shape to it, I want to say. These are going to be sweet. And obviously going to look good. We also have LED reverse lights, super bright LED reverse lights to go in here. That's going to look really, really good. Let's go to the next one. I should mention too that we also have more parts showing up. This was just what showed up today. So to match the tail lights, we have a set of blackout headlights. Now, I didn't want to go with the smoked version because I still want to be able to see, and I really don't like the look of the smoked headlights. I like the black lens like this. These are going to look killer. I also, once again, I have a set of LED, super bright LED headlights for this. It's going to look so good. Yeah. I have no idea what's in the big box. I did not order this. I have no idea what this is. It says something about 99 to 04 Mustang headlamp mounting panel. That's gonna piss me off. So that is gonna wrap up tonight's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching me install that big fuel line kit on the 12 valve. We're gonna have to deal with this, obviously. I can't stand dealing with this stuff, but it happens. I ordered all this stuff from Amazon. Amazon is usually pretty good about returns and making sure I'm getting it right. So we're gonna obviously have to deal with this. What I think should have been in that box, I was really excited to show you guys. But we did get our other parts, and we have more coming on the way. We're gonna go out and double check the 12 valve, make sure that we have no leaks, and that we are all set to daily drive that sucker again. So once again, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are heading down there, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and as always, guys, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.